You do that.
I know you came all this way.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey. Let me get the weird meta experience of watch yourself a little bit. I always enjoy that. It's always fun for me.
I'm going to look that way.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Peace and blessings and something or other. And salutations. Which used to be a thing that we did, but now we're moving on.
We did it like 2 times.
Well, how does a thing become a thing? It doesn't become a thing until you do it.
We've been, what are we on? Episode 102? 2 out of 102.
103.
What?
I know. We're like an ancient. We are
3
ancient.
episodes out of 103 is not a thing. I'm sorry.
Well,
one day we will have a thing.
It does.
Those things have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
This is the thing that we have. We don't need another fucking thing on top of the thing.
More things, the better. That's
I know.
what I
I'm trying
This
to leave
is the thing.
a legacy.
This way of starting the podcast is the thing.
This is the thing.
So
Sure.
that's the beauty. That's the joy. You don't know how it's going to start. It won't make sense. That's the thing.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
See, here we go.
You
It's
never
not just
know
me. For let the record show,
what you're
it's
gonna
not
get.
just me.
I'm
Deviating.
not a smart man, but I know what
love
love is.
Guys, in case you just woke
Jenny,
up,
run! And then my other favorite is, dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far away from here. Okay.
We love Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that should have been one of my selections.
Shrimp
it was
sandwich.
an impactful
Shrimp
movie.
Boiled shrimp.
Shrimp scampi.
in case
2 hours later.
in case you just woke up or just emerged from the nuclear bunker, and you were just realizing that our president is a Cheeto. We are Woke with Kids.
Hey.
And we are a podcast by a married couple of human beings. I am Nyaze Vincent, and I am joined every week by...
Hi, I'm Melissa Anderson.
Yes, exactly right. And we are the hosts of Woke with Kids. And every once in a while, we have you can tell that we planned this out meticulously, extremely choreographed.
We are... Yeah,
and every week we do not have a guest. So when we do, it's a very special occasion. So, and this is an even more special occasion because this is the first time, to my knowledge, that we have ever invited a living white male onto the show. This is a big.
You had a couple of dead ones.
There have been a couple of bodies that I will not.
Jenny Hoffa's in the corner.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny their identities, but this is the first breathing, red-blooded American male. He's from Wisconsin. We're going to ask him all the questions that we've been dying to know about white people. So this is extremely exciting for all of us at the Woke with Kids studio. We also had the pleasure to be on this man's podcast. He's one of the first guys I ever knew had a podcast, to be honest, and I've been on it a couple of times. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Ben Eisen.
Hey.
Yay. Very, very exciting.
This is surreal because I have listened to all 102 episodes.
Oh my
wow,
God.
that is
Ben,
very flattering.
Why?
That is extremely flattering.
Why would you do that?
That means you literally.
Because if it wasn't any good, I wouldn't have done it.
We like flattery. I do like that.
And I'm a completist, and I get roped.
You are a completist. I can say I do know that about you. It's a very fine sickness, my good friend.
Well, let's give them a little background because we've never had Ben on our show, and let's give them a little history about how we know Ben and what your guys' relationship is. I'm
sure you guys will find that very interesting because, as you know, I am a musician in addition to being a father.
Indeed.
And a work drone who works in corporate America. But I'm a musician, and I was in a band for a good length of time. As long as one would do anything, I'd say about 4 or 5 years.
I think it was 6 years.
6 years.
Really?
I was in a cover band with this fine gentleman called the LA Soul Project, and we were very popular. And we played a lot of gigs. We played for mayors. We played for ex-MTV.
Yeah.
Jocks, video jocks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played at a wedding where movie stars were
legit
relations to the bride and groom.
Legit movie stars.
Grammy winners.
Mayors. Did I mention mayors?
You did.
I was very impressed by the mayor one.
Corporate people.
Yeah.
In their corporate thing.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We were very, very official, and
A private party where we played for 6 hours.
that happened.
And they kept paying us to, we were done after 3, but they said, more and more, and they threw money at us.
Was that the one where we had to improvise
Hava Nagila? Such an infamous story.
Oh, that was a good
different
one. That was a good one, though, because we did not know that song.
Jewish weddings, yeah.
It was fantastic. We did that
Speaking
for 15
of
minutes
our
straight.
Jewish friends, Shana Tova. That's all I know.
Right. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy 5779.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's right. We've been around a long time.
5779. Wow.
That's the year. My parents sent me a card reminding me.
That's lovely.
5779.
Wow.
That's
It is
lovely.
the high
I
holidays.
love
I love shit like that.
tradition and history and,
I love that.
cultures that really it's always remains important. We don't have a lot of that here in
Tradition.
America.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got the flag. We got the flag.
Yeah, but
Don't tread on our flag and our
even
troops.
then, I mean, we don't really mean it. I mean,
I detected
we'll
sarcasm.
wear a flag
No, sir.
bikini.
No, sir. I am 100%.
Tankini, a Speedo. I mean, we've seen it all, basically.
I am so grateful for my education and my book learning from America. They brought me out of the jungles of Africa, and now I am Christianized and ready. No, speaking of that kind of segues me into there's so much has happened. Obviously, it's been more than a week since we joined you last time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope cast to step to. But we have kids and we have things that are going on in our lives, which sometimes preclude the recording of these. But here we are, and one of the things that immediately jumped out, grabbed my attention this week was the Kaepernick ad. Right?
Oh, yes.
It's football season, right?
Love football.
It's NFL season, and thank God we finally have a red-blooded American male who watches football on the show.
We
I watched
speak.
it all
I
day
feel like
today.
we speak so ignorantly about it because we just don't actually know.
No, you guys do
what
all right.
happens during.
We try.
It took a while to be able to pronounce Kaepernick correctly.
That was like a good 5.
Am I pronouncing it correctly now? Because
it was like Kaepernick for a while.
I go back and forth. Honestly, I test the wind, and wherever my head is at, that's what we're calling
We
it.
can't really pronounce anyone's name properly.
That's about right. That's about right.
Being a Green Bay Packers fan, because I'm from Wisconsin, it's like in your DNA. You just have to be.
It's a legal requirement, is it not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Being
you
a
can't
Packers
get your
fan,
license without it.
Yeah. I knew about Colin Kaepernick for a long time, way before he became a social activist.
And
he was the guy that made the Packers look silly in the playoffs, and I couldn't stand him. I hated that guy.
Right on. Well, at least you had a legit reason, though.
He had football skills, and he took his team all the way to the Super Bowl. One of the teams he beat that year in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl was the Packers. He throttled them it was bad, and he was amazing.
I appreciate that tremendously because
I hated him for it.
That is probably the only legit reason anyone can have to hate Kaepernick. Right? The only legit reason is that he beat your team, he washed you, all right? He embarrassed you with some glorious play. I'm going to continue to just throw words around until somebody believes I watch football. I have not. I assume that he is a great player because Nike paid him a lot of money.
Right.
Which I'm to understand they only do for the highest, most elite athletes. And
more important ones, because they're in that ad. There's a number of athletes, and there's some that are like amateurs, like they just or like they're college players, so they're not like mega stars, but they've got amazing stories. There's one guy who's a college football player who has only one hand. And I don't know. It's like some kind of a birth defect or something. But I don't know exactly how he came to only have one hand.
Sure.
But he's like an amazing player. And football, and you can see him. He tackles people with like a stump on one of his arms.
Whoa!
When you watch the ad, you see that clip in the ad. He's in the ad as well as Kaepernick and a few others. Serena Williams, I think, is
yes. Well, Nike's on a roll because that ad with Serena being coached by her dad as a young girl on the tennis courts in Compton. He's like, imagine you're at the U.S. Open, and then it's intercut with her playing at one of the 24 times she's been to the U.S. Open. I mean, I fucking cry every time.
She actually just lost.
I
yesterday.
know. We have to talk about that too because
there's so much sports news this week. Oh my God!
Yay. Okay.
Well, the deal with Kaepernick, in case you guys just emerged from the bunker, is that he was a good football player, a quarterback, a black quarterback, which, if I'm to understand, is a very rare phylum and genus.
They're not as rare as they used to be.
Not as rare. Okay.
Right, yeah.
I'd say.
There's a handful.
I'd say about 30% are now. maybe 40%.
Okay, all right, great. It's good to hear. It's good to hear we're taking over that section of football as well. That's fantastic. So he won a Super Bowl.
He went to a Super Bowl.
He went to a Super Bowl. He did not win.
Right. No,
he didn't win. Okay, so he didn't win. Yeah, all right. So he didn't win.
Sorry, guys. This
but
is
to get there is a feat.
It's a huge accomplishment in itself.
That was his first or second season with them.
Yeah, something like that.
So in other words, he's no schlep. You know, no schlub. He's no schlub. He's a real contender.
He's worth a team having them on their team.
1,000%.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Completely.
Right.
Yeah. So he starts to get the idea that he should maybe say something about all the dead black kids that he's seeing on television.
You mean adults?
And adults, I'm sorry, and women.
Yeah.
And basically and anybody. Just general black bodies.
And just
and the fact
racism.
And the fact that there's no justice for the police.
Police brutality.
Police brutality as a whole against American citizens.
Is it fair to say this is around Ferguson? This is around Ferguson. This is when this really started to come into focus. It's like the end of Trayvon Martin's, the end of Obama's.
Side note: you hear this motherfucker Zimmerman is threatening Jay and Bay. I mean, we'll get to that later. I just want to throw it out there before I forget. Like bookmark. I want to talk about.
There's so many sidebars that could really. It's really a hall of many mirrors. It's that scene from Conan with a mirror wizard, and you just keep thrusting, and every time you thrust into the mirror, it's just more shit. There's no way to really deal with it all. But Kaepernick is asked a vet, what is the best way to make my voice heard about this without disrespecting the national anthem or whatever? And he said it'd be a good idea maybe if you take a knee.
Well, let's give a little all the details. He was sitting down during the national anthem when it was played at the beginning before the game started. He was sitting down in protest of basically what the national anthem. Actually, he was just taking that time, as far as I understand, to call attention to the injustices here in America, and he chose to do so by sitting down, and a lot of people took offense to that as a sign of disrespect towards the veterans.
Right.
And so,
not unsurprisingly misinterpreting what the motive was.
Well, completely what we call deflecting. It's really what it is. It's deflecting from the issue. And then he did
have communications with a veteran who said, well, a way to still show respect for veterans while also exercising your First Amendment right to freedom of speech, you can try taking a knee.
Because they do that.
Which is something that has been done for decades as
the military
a sign of respect.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't think of any situation, honestly. Is there any situation, any context in which kneeling is disrespectful to a person? Like, I'm trying to think of if Zod, all Zod wanted,
kneel.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we could have had peace on Earth, a new Krypton. We could have all been flying around in space cars if only Kal-El would have just showed some goddamn respect to his elders and knelt before Zod. That's all.
That thing where they're like trapped in that sphere for all eternity, floating through space.
Yeah, the Phantom Zone.
Where they're like,
That's right.
I always think about that, like how I get claustrophobic. So imagine being trapped in this box with floating through space for all eternity. I would go mad in the space of 10 minutes.
I would probably go crazy. I would definitely go crazy. But I just think that it's just clear. Speaking of Kal-El and immigrants. Illegal immigrants who come into this country, that Trump's trying to do something about. Man, it's just that if we just show respect and just knelt before Trump is what I'm getting at, we could all be living in this paradise that he promised us. You know what I'm saying? But we're disrespectful to him.
Yeah, and we're ungrateful.
And that makes the troops sad, and that's why we can't have nice things. It's very simple. I don't know why people don't understand.
No surprise people were burning their Nikes this week.
Oh, yes. So right. So people...
let's get to the point here.
Right. So
after... this protest and then that season, I hear children. That season, Kaepernick's team did not make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and they cut him.
Well, he didn't cut him. His contract. He opted out of his contract. Right. He could have stayed and got paid, but he bet on himself. He thought maybe he could get a better contract somewhere else because he's good. You know?
So he kept up his training for 2 years, and no team picked him up. I mean, they were picking quarterbacks who clearly were worse.
I watched football all day today, and there were at least a half a dozen, if not more, quarterbacks that he could run circles around easily.
Right.
And they were playing today, and they were fucking terrible. And he's better than all those guys, no doubt about it, and everybody knows it.
So in the meantime, Kaepernick has been donating money to a variety of nonprofits and charities to
spend his money where his mouth is.
Work towards improving justice and education for people who need it, people of color. And then all of a sudden on Twitter, we all saw this ad that said, believe in...
Well, we saw it on Twitter, okay? But there's a lot of people who were supposed to be protesting the NFL. They were watching the actual game, and in the middle of the game, Nike interrupts them with a commercial from Kaepernick. So I treasure the in my mind the image of people sitting in middle America watching their game, enjoying their concussions, and then all of a sudden this blackety black face of Kaepernick shows up, and he's talking about sacrifice, stand for something, even if it costs you everything. And these motherfuckers have to do the mental gymnastics all of a sudden, realizing the NFL is sponsored by Nike.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I said it was clear as day, the swoosh, and just do it.
For a million years.
Some good news, though. I was in a packed sports bar today, this morning, and there were, I think... 8, 9 games playing all at the same time, all these different TVs and stuff, and that commercial popped up all over the place. No, I never heard anyone say anything bad. I didn't hear any complaining.
There was no fuck that guy.
No, I didn't hear that at all. I saw some people applaud. Yeah, we live in LA, so but still, football fans, they're a different breed. But none of them cared. Everyone thought, I've talked to, everyone I've seen other than the MAGA rednecks.
Yeah,
everyone's fine with this. Everyone's happy about it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they do studies on this, and I work in advertising, so obviously they do studies to show the favorability and unfavorability ratings, and overall, everyone loves it. There's like a very small minority of people, minority of people, who are very against it. But those are people
cutting up their socks,
right? These are the people. These are the people that have already spent their money on Nike or are buying secondhand Nike.
Stupid! You already bought the shit. It's yours.
They got your money, dumbass.
There's really a problem on the right with the misapprehension of what boycotts are. Like it's like you have to not buy it to begin with in order for it to register.
People smashing their Keurigs.
It's just
it's like you're just can't get your coffee the way you like it.
In a funny way it reminds me of, it's like back in the Rodney King era, when they would that was the criticism from the right at that point of black people. It's like they're rioting and destroying their own neighborhoods and whatever. It's like, well, now white people have been driven to craziness. Well, they're having mini riots. They're burning their jeans and whatever they think is associated with.
But it's very safe.
Oh no! It's exactly. It's definitely
the guy put his Nike shoes in his grill and set them on fire. Like,
so I'm saying like it's filtered culturally through the white lens. But this, I think, what we are seeing is a slow motion riot of white people who are just having a reconciling with the fact that the vast majority of the market out there does agree that diversity is a good thing. Does agree that police brutality is a bad thing.
I mean, Nike stock went up.
It went up.
Sales skyrocketed over the Labor Day 4 to 7 days.
Yes,
sales are up 31%.
So they're winning on all sides, because if you support the NFL and you're buying your jerseys, they're making money.
Absolutely.
And if you don't like Kaepernick, or if you support that they have a campaign featuring him and you buy some more Nike, they make money off of that shit too.
That's right.
I have a feeling this could go a ways towards a team possibly picking him up, because football is a very violent sport, and one of those 20 or so really good quarterbacks that are about his level, one of them is going to get hurt this year. There's going to be a need for Colin Kaepernick this year. There was last year, but no one would bite. No one would do it.
Well, talk to me.
And he's suing the NFL for.
I was going to just say, fill us in on that. Tell us more about that. What's going on? Because I don't know all the details of like when he filed the suit or whatever. What is the original suit for? Can the NFL be in what does collusion mean for the NFL?
It means that all of the owners of all 32 teams, all of the owners, he's alleging, got together and talked amongst themselves and said, none of us are going to sign him, right? You're not going to sign him. You're not going to sign him. We, all of his like back channel emails or whatever.
Gotcha.
And just a few weeks ago, a judge ruled that can go to trial.
Oh shit!
Because the NFL was trying to stop it from going to trial.
Well, see, that's huge too, because if you guys have ever worked for a corporation, you probably signed a piece of paper. You probably signed it. I know I've signed one. that says that you agree not to sue the corporation in the event of some sort of conflict or whatever. Instead, what they want to do is they want to take it to arbitration, which is this private process, which has nothing to do with the judicial system, in which they essentially pick the person who's going to decide what happens next. So generally, when things go into arbitration, what you hear about later on is some sort of settlement,
right?
Something behind closed doors that they agree with in an NDA, and then they can't talk about it. So the fact that this is going as far to go to trial is kind of fucking amazing.
Yeah, the judge found that there is enough out there to warrant them going further with it and saying like this, you can't just dismiss this.
Incredible. That's incredible. So I hope that. But I don't know if that makes it easier for him to get a job now or not. You know what I mean? In terms of like,
I think if it gets closer to them, people finding out that some really nefarious shit did go down. Yeah, I think, and someone does get hurt, and there is a definite, obvious need for Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, they'll probably encourage some team to sign him. Like, please, just get, because then he'll drop the lawsuit and we can move on. They're in a tough spot.
Yeah, this is what I wish that. Do you watch Ballers on HBO?
No, I haven't seen.
I wish Ballers is so boring this year, and I'm looking at this story of Kaepernick now, and I'm like, you can't even write fiction as interesting as reality is, in terms of like the way that racism interplays with market forces and the culture and shit.
I really think that there's an easy solution to this. And the NFL management and their owners are too stupid or too stubborn to do it. The solution is very simple. Listen to the players. Listen, because there's it's not just him kneeling now. I mean, that's what caused dickhead Trump to jump in and
call them sons of bitches.
Right, exactly, and make it a mountain out of a molehill, which on the bullshit flag disrespectful front. Yeah. But if they just listen to the players and listen to their concerns, we're concerned about police brutality and we're concerned about all these things. The NFL could partner with them and fund programs to help. I'm not sure what programs are out there that would.
I'm sure there's got to be something.
Yeah. If they would work with the players and start putting funding towards education and these things. And
you could evolve a charity of the player's choice or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they would be all over. They wouldn't even kneel because they felt like they were finally heard.
1,000%.
And then this whole fucking thing would go away. We can get back to watching football and enjoying it. Cause it's fucking stupid. Because as a big fan, as a lifelong football fan, I hate this.
And I hate it. I've never been a huge football fan. If I have a fan of anything, I'm probably more a fan of basketball. But that's a good example of like how it can work. What you're talking about is that the NBA seems to have no problem in
the
just
NBA
saying,
knows to listen to their players.
Absolutely. They also know that their league is like 99.9% black, and like they don't, if they're not good with the streets.
And the NBA players are bigger stars for the most part.
Yes,
LeBron James is one of the biggest stars on the planet.
Absolutely.
There's nobody in the NFL that's even close to that famous.
That's a really good point.
So they got star power, they got clout, and the NBA knows it, and they listen to them, they work with them.
That's right.
The NFL could do that, but they won't because they're stubborn.
Well, maybe I hate to say this, but maybe inevitably it's kind of the way of the dodo for football, because we were talking about it before the podcast that increasingly I'm not even a huge ball fan, but I hear that it's getting nerfed. Like there are increasing concerns about concussions and the risk for people playing it, and maybe this is like our gladiator games, and it's something that we wake up from one day and go like, well, we can't. It's too cruel. We're barbarians. I don't know. I don't know.
The players know what they're signing up for, so I'm glad that they're trying to make it safer. It's going to take some getting used to, because it's a little different now. It's not as insanely violent. It's still really violent, but it's not as
like the latest I heard, they can't, like the latest thing I heard is like now they can't do helmet tackles. You can't do helmet.
You can't lead with your helmet.
You can't lead with your helmet, which is like the weirdest.
So how do you?
I'm like, how do you get your shoulder to someone before your head reaches them?
And they're going 30 miles an hour.
Right. I mean, they're fucking bulls. They're trained.
Head-on collision, 30 miles an hour. Like, how do you do it in a split second? Yeah,
very strange.
It's going to take some time to get used to, but in the end, that's a good thing. It saves the sport from becoming like boxing, where like boxing used to be the biggest sport in the country, along with baseball and like horse racing. Like in all the way till like 1950, boxing, or 1960s maybe, boxing was huge. And then just the brutality of it wore people down. They didn't want to see it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they don't make him like Mike Tyson anymore. I'll tell you that. All right, let's. That's a good long segment on
Sports
Kaepernick.
Corner.
Yeah, that's Sports Corner. Well, a little bit more sports. We do have to mention Serena Williams.
Sure.
She lost the match to
Naomi Osaka.
Thank you for that, because I was going to butcher that. I was going to say Dora Milaje or something like this. She's a young black tennis player as well, mixed race.
She's half black, half Haitian, and half Japanese.
Ooh,
3 halves.
God dang, that's hard. That's hard right there.
And I think she was like number 17 or whatever. And Serena Williams had been an idol of hers for years.
Yeah, it was a really cool interview after she found out she won and she was going to play Serena in the finals. And she's like, I just want to play Serena. I've been loving her forever. I love her so much, and I can't wait to play her.
Which is why it was so sad to see how it all played out. So the umpire, tennis, what is it, courtside, whatever the fuck it's called,
line judge.
He decided that her coach was coaching her from the side, which is considered cheating.
Yes,
and he said as much, and Serena didn't take too kindly to that, and there were some milder, violations or penalties, and then she basically was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not a cheater.
Yeah.
You owe me an apology.
She did keep it real too hard a little bit.
Sure.
Like when she broke her racket.
Sure. And she said, I would never cheat. I've never cheated. I have a daughter. I take it really seriously. Like, basically her integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up penalizing her a whole game.
Yeah,
she lost the whole match.
Crazy.
Okay,
that's crazy.
In the U.S. Open.
That's crazy.
In the final, which has never been done before. And so whether or not, probably Naomi would have beat her anyway, because from what I hear, Naomi was serving amazing and just, a very talented player.
But to have it besmirched.
To have that, because then
it takes away from
it took away the whole thing, and then people were booing her, and Serena had to be like, she played amazing. Don't boo this young girl. She just did something amazing. Let's not focus on the negative part of it. But what everyone is really pointing out, and Serena herself, is like, what a fucking gender double standard, because John McEnroe is infamous for all the yelling and raging and broken rackets that he put on.
He's beloved for that.
Exactly. And then even the more recent male players, Andy Murray and the whoever, it's known in the passion and in the heat of a game, you might yell or you might not agree with a call, and every single time that same judge, or what is he called? Umpire, line
judge.
The same one. I've seen memes where they're showing examples of other male players who have yelled at him about a call, and there has been no point penalty, much less a whole match being awarded to the other player. So in that sense, whether she was out of line or not, it's very clear that there was a gender double standard in the penalization of her reaction to it, as they continue to do to her since her entire career. First, you're not supposed to have braids and your beads in your hair when you're playing.
That's right.
Now you can't wear a cat suit. Now you can't do this. Now you do this. What do you think about Sharapova looking better than you? Like, what the fuck that got to do with the game? They constantly come at her with this bullshit as opposed to focusing on her amazing talent and gifts. And this was just maybe really the last straw for her in terms of letting it slide. And she's always, I feel, in the interviews after, I think she's always very thoughtful in what she says, and I thought it was just another example of why she really is one of the greatest players of all time, because I thought she articulated herself really well, despite being obviously filled with emotion and disappointment. But she really was able to acknowledge that Naomi Osaka played wonderfully, and that we need to focus on that, in addition to saying she continues to work hard for justice and equal disciplinary and pay and everything for the sport. And for him to think it was okay to make that kind of comment was rude. And then even when Naomi won, one of these other announcers talking about, bring out the sake. Like, what? You can't say shit like that.
Unbelievable.
What the fuck?
Unbelievable.
The good news is both players were super classy about everything.
Yes.
And just really comported themselves with grace.
Yes,
and style,
very much
and
so.
1,000%.
Really, yeah, it was
And
really
I
cool
look forward to seeing Naomi in the future. It's
we'll
so
see.
bright for her.
So many of these women come along and everyone's saying, are they going to be the one to challenge Serena? And then they always fall off. So if there's someone that can like legitimately challenge her, that's pretty cool too.
And it's always wonderful.
The attitude is great for both of them.
Oh, I completely agree. Yeah. It's great for the sport, and I think it's always wonderful to see when Serena loses, a big final like this, how it motivates her to come back even more. Yeah. She's still a new mother, and
she's
I'm sure she's very hard on herself to try and perform at her best each and every time. Mm-hmm. So it's never easy losing.
No.
And again, so with all of that, to have someone accuse you of cheating is pretty devastating when you've been in this for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm even more outraged by the idea that also, what a strange idea that your coaching you from the side. I mean, like every other sport I'm aware of, that's the coach's job is to sit there at the sideline and go like, "Hey, what I think you should do is this."
Of course.
Remember what we worked on? I mean,
I'm not big on tennis, so I didn't know that was a big deal. I don't see. You're absolutely right. That seems insane.
That sounds just crazy. Like you can't shout advice. You can't shout advice.
It's still her playing.
Yeah.
So no matter what the coach says, it's like, what? He didn't come down there.
He can't get tagged in. Yeah, he can't like
play for her. It's really weird.
It's a stupid rule. I never heard of that.
Anyway. Well, guys, I think that's like the longest we've ever talked about sport. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you.
I would love if I could come on maybe remotely once in a while and give like a sports update.
We might have to do that.
That would be great.
Well, this is definitely the longest we've continuously talked about sports intentionally.
And maybe even a little bit intelligently.
Yeah, no, I felt like until then, I felt like I had some cogent points.
Until you bumped your mic with
until
I burped and belched and bumped the mic.
I think this is a good time to remind people of where they can check us out and find past episodes and just get all the good, info out.
That's a good idea.
You'll take from your mama, you'll even take the limbs off of a tree. But I'm gonna kick your ass for messing with me.
That's right, y'all.
Oh, okay.
I love it. I was always wondering if you actually went and edited that in, but no. We got a little pad right there.
We have a growing soundboard.
I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, man, gotta have a soundboard. They got the kind now that you can that they just the virtual ones. You just have it on your screen and just push them like that. Yeah, check it out. Check out virtual soundboards. They're fun.
Okay.
So check us out. You can find any of our 102 previous episodes.
Yes,
on all the places, iTunes and SoundCloud,
Stitcher, Spotify.
Yes,
Podomatic, I believe. YouTube. Which has audio only playings of us, so you can listen to us on YouTube as well if you have a premium subscription. That's really awesome. Lots of opportunities. We're like a lot of places. We're like get syndicated through this thing called Libsyn that puts us like all over the nooks and crannies of the internet. So just Google Woke with Kids and you will get something. We're also on the Instagrams with you kids. And Facebook, where we post a lot.
Yeah, we do post a lot.
Post a lot of good stuff on Facebook. Tune into our feed there. And I'm also on a podcast with a buddy of mine called We Come From Bad News, where we manifest big dick energy and talk about culture and stuff. And Mel has a new podcast too that we're
I'm trying to get episode 2 out. It's called Off the Page with Melissa Kay, and I talk to my artist friends about their process and a journey towards creating something really awesome.
Yes. And the second episode is really worth the wait. It's only been like 2 months, but it's going to be fantastic.
That's all. Yeah, I interviewed my dear friend Danielle Anderson Craig. She wrote a children's book called The Magic of We. Yeah. And there's a really wonderful story and inspiration towards that book. And also we talk about just her journey as a writer and what that means to her in her everyday life.
That's right. Ben, since we're just plugging shit, you'll get an opportunity at the end to plug as well, but do you want to talk about your podcast at this point?
Well, I think, thank you. Sure. I was just here last night.
What? You were?
That literally is true.
24 hours ago,
I was literally true.
I was just sitting over there.
That's right. With your rig.
With my rig. And you guys were guests on my podcast, and that episode is going to come out a week from tomorrow.
Yes.
Monday the 17th.
That's right.
Of my show, All Time Top 10. And we did That was a legendary episode, man.
It was so much fun.
It was good.
It was
so much fun.
Went in.
I have to edit it.
The theme, guys. The idea is that Top 10 with Ben is that he gets on with a guest, and each of them has a top 10 list of their song that fits into a theme. And our theme was top 10 songs for racism or against racism. I can't remember.
Against.
Okay.
About or against and or against racism.
That was
songs against racism.
I had a lot of egg on my face.
I thought we had a wonderful list.
It was such a good list.
Yeah, we usually do me and one guest, and it's like each of us has our top 10 list.
Yep.
But since there's 3 of us, we narrowed it down to 7 each.
Yes.
So we did play 21 songs.
Yeah.
A Kanye record.
Songs about racism, and it was all over the place, like decade wise and style wise.
Yeah, it really was.
Even played some white boy stuff.
A lot of white boy stuff. I was surprised at the amount of white people that sang about racism. It is very inspiring.
There's no Brad Paisley.
No accidental racist. No accidental racist. No,
terrible. Sorry, guys. They had their hearts were in the right place.
They really tried. I think their hearts were definitely into cashing in.
We were all about quality.
Yes,
and we had some great conversations, and so it's sort of a bit of a cross promotional thing because we actually got into some conversations that we had to cut short, and we said, hey, if you want to hear the rest of this, come listen to Woke with Kids.
Let's see if we make our way back to it.
I know what the topic was. If you
bet
want to get into it right now.
Okay, we'll
come into it in the next one because we can catch some hell.
All-time top 10.podomatic.com. All the places, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, all those different apps and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
fantastic.
Tune in to them, and you'll enjoy it.
Episode 334.
Whoa.
Yes. It's a very well-produced, well-crafted podcast, and completely not like this one. We just like let it all hang out.
Ben's so
Ben
organized.
Ben edits it
on top of it.
He spends like 2 weeks making it perfect. It's a really good time.
Great music.
And honestly, what I think is great, we were fortunate enough to be guests prior to last night, and every episode is a good one, really, because you're talking about music and you're playing snippets of songs that fit into a theme, and so I think there's something for everyone there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you kind of just like Wheel of Fortune, scroll through and just find one, and I think you would enjoy it. So definitely, please give his podcast a listen. All-time top 10.
Oh, thank
Absolutely.
you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll send you guys the links to the episodes that you guys have been on.
Oh, great!
Oh, most def.
Been on as a duo twice, or this will be the third one coming up, and then Nyaze, you were on, I think, 3 other times.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow, man.
2 or 3 other times. So yeah,
I really relish being a recurring guest. I really, that's always been on my bucket list. So thank you for making that happen.
Yes.
All right, guys. That was nice.
Trump be trumping?
I think we got to talk. We got to tune in.
I mean, let's just get it out of the way.
Let's talk about some Trump, guys.
I love this at the end of every week. It says, Trump had a bad week. now, he's had some bad weeks, but this one was really bad. Like every week they say it.
That's right.
Every week it was the worst week ever for Trump.
Yes.
And yet he's still in fucking office.
Yeah. I mean, we've got to reckon with the fact, particularly now that we're so close to the midterm election in November, but we got to reckon with the fact that unless we vote in at least one branch of the government to the Democrats, the Republicans have absolutely no vested interest in standing up or opposing any of his policies, because for all that Trump is in terms of his unpresidentiality and and his wild antics and shit and his embarrassment and all that stuff, he is doing exactly what the goddamn establishment Republicans want him to do.
That's the thing about this op-ed that came out this week.
Oh, yes.
The senior Trump staffer who is part of the resistance inside the White House.
Deep throat.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Deep throat.
The deep state. And they're like removing papers from his desk so he'll forget to sign them and thwarting his worst impulses. Are you really thwarting his worst impulses?
Right.
What the fuck are you doing?
If children are being separated at the borders and put into prison facilities, what are the worst? I mean, like building a wall around Mordor?
Right, what have we avoided?
What if we avoid
happening?
I think it's hilarious that this thing came out because it enrages him, but it's also not that funny because it shows that they're only looking out for themselves. The person who wrote that is looking out for themselves. They want to be seen as a hero, but they're not going to do anything to really stop him.
Right, exactly. Like they're not putting. First of all, they're not putting their name.
Yeah, and it's so easy for Republicans to dismiss it because it's anonymous.
Yes,
right,
1000%. If
look at you saying the word anonymous, maybe you should be president, Ben. Because our current commander-in-chief has trouble. Anonymous.
Yeah.
And then he tried again. It was really
I feel bad making fun of Trump because I've been always taught to respect senior citizens, and we forget that this is an ancient man. Okay,
I think he is suffering from some sort of cognitive decline. I mean,
it's impossible that he's not.
Exactly. Like, who over 70 is not?
Yeah, especially over 70.
He has a very high pressure job. He eats McDonald's. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's multiple reasons why.
Yeah.
For any number of reasons, he would show signs of cognitive decline.
The thing about
not just the anonymous thing.
The confefe. Confefe. No, I mean
anonymous.
This is why it's so frustrating. You know, it's like punching water with Trump because, you know, all of the stuff that we know about him, which is so unpresidential, is essentially not even the worst stuff about him. Yeah. The worst stuff about him is that he surrounds himself with bona fide fucking criminals, like bona fide robbers and shit, who are the employ of the Russian mafia and oligarchs and shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if you watch Impossible White Men films about action heroes, 65-year-old action heroes jumping off of trains and shit, they're always fighting the Bratva. They're always fighting the Russian mafia. Okay, right. We know who the bad guys are, and all of a sudden, our president is like, I don't know what the problem is. Being friends with Russia is a great idea. I like Russia. Russia's fine. What's the problem?
Fine people.
They're fine people. Fine, upstanding. They're a hell of a lot better than the media.
Their money was laundered through all my hotels.
Right, exactly.
What's wrong with that? They're great guys. They're great to me.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And so we have like. The worst part about Trump is not that he's embarrassing. The worst part about Trump is that he's a thief. That he's turned the American government into what we think of as a banana state, a laundering, basically a laundering business for all this illegal money and shit. I mean, we're still talking about money that he raised to put on that laughable excuse for inauguration. Right. There are hundreds of millions of dollars or some shit. Maybe not hundreds of millions, but like millions and millions of dollars and shit that are missing that were definitely not spent on the goddamn inauguration. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the worst is how out in the open some of this shit is. Like all the Mar-a-Lago stuff. Every time he goes down there to play fucking golf,
tens of millions.
He stays at his own resort
and has all his presidential meetings and has guests come in there.
And it's all paid by tax dollars. It's all paid by us.
Yes. Imagine just how much it costs for Air Force One.
Yeah, exactly.
For Secret Service has to stay at the hotel. Like that's government money paying for all those rooms.
But it completely exposes the lie of the whole shit. Where it's like, does he take a salary? No, I don't take a salary because I'm rich. It's like,
he's making way more money.
Because, you're transferring.
Business owner.
Thank you. Because you were transferring fucking tax dollars into your goddamn private business. Yes.
Jimmy Carter sold his peanut farm when he became president because there's the emoluments clause that makes you have to divest from your businesses.
That's
so you can't profit off the presidency.
That's right.
He sold this fucking peanut farm that he built with his bare hands.
Unbelievable.
And here we are funneling golf trips for the fucking, and going right into his pocket.
Literally, and still,
how is not no one
right? Literally, still hotels with his name on it in Washington D.C. where Republicans are staying, and it's like, no problem, nothing to see here, guys. Just move along. Nothing to see here. No, so that's happening, and that's in general. Also, what else is happening with Trump? Kavanaugh. Yes, that's huge.
Kavanaugh's everything.
That's huge. That's huge right now.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's also a part of the bigger story of the fact that during the Obama administration, what the Republicans did essentially was block the appointment of any federal judge that they could. And so huge backlogs of federal judgeships were held up and amassed during this time until Trump was elected. Well,
now they're filling them at a record pace.
And now they are filling them at a record fucking pace. And Kavanaugh is just really the tip of the spear of this tactic to take over the judiciary and shit, because they realize that they really are that they're vulnerable in the electorate. They have to do something. The only way that they're going to keep.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
The only way they can really cement their perspective and their agenda is with these lifetime appointments.
Absolutely.
Exactly right.
Which, they've already got one. Neil Gorsuch, I believe, was the first Supreme
Court
nomination who was confirmed.
That's right. And then they blocked Merrick Garland, which we can't talk about Brett Kavanaugh without. Because
Merrick Garland was like the consensus, like he was the most qualified
front runner before,
the most qualified candidate to ever,
that everyone loves.
And he was moderate, like Republicans and Democrats for years said what a great nominee he would be, what a great justice he would be. And
and instead we got Gorsuch.
Right.
And now we probably will have,
and we will probably get Kavanaugh. Although
they're fighting it,
they're fighting
I'm so happy they're fighting.
The Democrats are finally they're finally doing the thing that we've always exhorted Democrats to do, and they've always seemed to fail in the past to do. They're showing some huevos. They're showing some
Cory Booker, man.
You know what I mean? They're like, or no, Kamala Harris,
Harris too.
Right.
When she was like, have you or have you not had conversations with motherfuckers from the lawyers of Trump and Trump and Trump?
I mean, she straight said, you've been talking for 8 hours and you have a remarkable memory. You have remembered everything for the last 8 hours, but now you don't remember
all of a sudden
if you've had these conversations. And then, of course, I'm a woman. My favorite was, can you think of any legislation against the male body that we have at the government level?
I'm not thinking of any.
Yeah, I bet, motherfucker.
Fuck that guy.
Bet.
Yeah, and he's clearly lying. He's a terrible liar, and it's been proved that he's been lying in like previous hearings. Stuff contradicts other stuff. He's lying. This is the guy who's going to be on the Supreme Court for life,
and he's so young.
Unbelievable.
And, like this is the Supreme Court. This is supposed to be Republicans are supposed to be the party of law and order,
right?
And they got a guy who's clearly not telling the truth.
He's not
a guy who Trump wants. I read that. The Republicans gave a huge list of people that they thought were okay for him to nominate, if the opportunity came up. This is the one guy that they were worried about because he's got so much baggage. He's got stuff that's coming out of the woodwork
but now. They blocked so much of his paperwork and documents.
Well, Cory Booker released it.
But it's all worth it to Trump. It's all worth it to Trump because of one view that Kavanaugh holds, which is that presidents should be unassailable. You can't hold them. You can't indict them. You can't indict a sitting president.
Subpoena them.
You can't subpoena them even.
Yeah.
You can't even make them sit and testify in front of Mueller.
Right.
Which is what Mueller. Bueller.
That's another one like Kaepernick, where every time I listen, I'm like, it's Mueller.
Mueller. Whatever. White people's names are strange and foreign and don't roll off the tongue.
Like a German thing.
So
they're not like Deontay. You know what I mean?
But what I want to say is, people are going to he's probably going to get nominated anyway. He's probably going to make it through because
I think he will.
Because Republicans are in lockstep and they're terrified of Trump. They don't want to cross him. Some Democrats that are in red states that are running for office, like West Virginia, Joe Manchin's the guy. Some of them might vote to confirm him too because they're worried about what their voters back home will do. Which is fucking stupid.
The hardest part is keeping the Democrats together. If the Democrats can remain united, they did.
But even then, they don't have the numbers.
No. But I was listening to Rachel Maddow, who is like the cheerleader in chief for the Progressive Party, a progressive wing of the Democratic Party, and she was talking about a little known appointment that was actually being held up because this guy had some racist papers out or some shit, and they actually flipped Tim Scott while John McCain's successor hadn't been appointed yet, so they only had like 49, 99 members of the Senate, right? So they only had to convince one in order to block it.
And they did it.
So they did it with Tim Scott.
Yeah.
Right now with Kavanaugh, it's chancy, it's improbable, but it's possible because Susan Collins from Maine, and Maine is still fucking
it's blue,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She's on record as saying she would never cast the vote to get rid of Roe versus Wade, and now
it's become clear that he will do that.
It becomes clear that he does not believe that it's settled law. These papers came out, all this shit is coming out, like you said.
Once again, he's lying.
Right. He's literally just saying what you're
someone who lies like that on the fucking Supreme Court.
Fucking terrifying.
I heard a wonderful editorial when I think the first day of the committee hearings, and it was on, I don't know, KPFK KFK, maybe NPR. They were playing it live. But it was actually, I think it was a Republican who really clearly laid out really what the problem is that because the legislature, the legislative branch of government has become so basically full of BS,
right?
And no one is really doing their job.
Yep.
They, talk all this shit.
Jeff Flake was really concerned about something Trump said.
Exactly.
Right? Tweets.
That's right. Woke me up in the middle of the night. I was so concerned.
All they're really concerned about is getting reelected. So in between, they don't really want to rock the boat.
Oh no!
Constantly, they just put together these 1,000-page legislative bills that no one has read, and they just kind of ram it through.
That's how the last tax cut got.
And so
nobody knew what it was
because we cannot rely on our elected congresspeople to really represent our interests. We have the society as a whole has now politicized the Supreme Court, whereas they were supposed to be the one judicial branch that wasn't politicized.
They're supposed to be completely neutral politically,
and that's no longer the case. And he was saying it is a direct result of the lack of huevos on all of our congresspeople, the people who we can actually elect or vote out based on what they do and how it affects our lives, because it just is mostly a stasis. We now have politicized Supreme Court because that's where the shit will happen.
Two things in the sci-fi and in the future parallel dimension bifurcations to come. One is that I predict that essentially what you're going to have is in the legislature. The problem is that what we used to have is that people used to go to Congress to wheel and deal. Like they would have pork barrel spinning and shit, earmarks and whatever. And that's the government we grew up all our lives during the 70s and 80s. It's like
doing favors for locals.
There you go. You wanted to get $10,000 tacked onto a bill so you can get that hog farm down the road refurbished or whatever. But then they did away with earmarks.
Yeah, we thought that was a good thing.
But what it actually did was that it made our representatives not beholden to local interests, and they became and then once Citizens United hit and corporations can donate all the money they want, all it became about was who could poke their booty out far enough for the most money.
Right. Like people like Ted Cruz do nothing for Texas.
Nothing.
Not even a little bit.
Nothing at all. He's never there. He doesn't hold a town hall. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't listen to the people at all.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what the fuck Nancy Pelosi does, either. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to say don't go out and vote, but I literally don't even. The way that it's structured now. Right. It just seems structurally as if it's not in a way that they can make decisions that affect us on a local level, which is why you also need to vote locally, which is why you also need to be concerned with who is the mayor, who is the comptroller.
Vote in the fucking midterms.
You have to vote in the midterms.
Yeah, who's your governor?
Right, because these are the people that are making the decisions about what's going on.
Well, especially this year, this go around, this Congress is going to draw the census in 2020.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's going to draw the districts. It's
crazy.
All the gerrymandering shit.
Huge.
This is everything.
This is huge. And this is also the first opportunity America has to repudiate everything that the Trump election stood for.
Right. That's why we've really got to come out.
We have to.
I mean, we have to.
That blue wave shouldn't just be a blue wave. It should be a fucking tsunami.
It should be a tsunami. It should be devastating. We should all be like, God damn, I thought it was going to be bad.
That's how you send a message.
Yeah, we should. Afterwards, we should all be like, I knew it was going to be big, but God damn, that was outrageous. That's how it should be. If it isn't, we can only hope.
It's going to be, if we hope, if it's as severe as we hope, it'll inevitably get the Bernie bros to go, see, this was a good thing that we let Trump in. That's the only bad side effect of that.
You know what?
We got everybody involved. Well,
I will let them rewrite history to make themselves the hero to justify whatever incel insecurity that they have. I have no problem with that shit, because the super hardcore Bernie bros are the exact same people as the super hardcore MAGA people.
Sure. They certainly are.
Different sides of a coin. The rest of us centrist, incrementalist people who just want to see actual progress done through policy and things that can be measured, we over here waiting for y'all to catch up.
Yeah. I want to say this one thing real quick about the Kavanaugh thing. It's most likely he's going to get through because the Republicans will be in lockstep. I don't want to hear anyone talking shit about the Democrats in the Senate unless they're split. If they're all unified and they all vote no, you can't say anything about, because they've been fighting, they've been putting in the work, and they just don't have the numbers because we didn't vote for them.
We did not give it to them.
Correct.
Give them a fucking break in this scenario when it's hopeless because we just can't stop it.
Here, man, because the only thing that frightens me and frustrates me is when I see people who are ostensibly on my side of the political fence posting shit about, like, look at these Democrats fucking this up, or letting these people, these federal judges get appointed or whatever.
A cork went flying.
A cork went fire. It's comical.
Now
guys.
you're seeing how it really goes down.
Wine jokes. Anyway, what was we talking about?
Like when you move the curtain and you see the whiz for real.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know that we have a curtain. I had no idea we have a curtain in this show.
I know, right?
It's all
Facebook Live every week.
Yeah, it's all very clear. What was I telling you?
We were talking about how
don't fuck with the Democrats because they're doing their
exactly.
It's on us to vote them in so they can do what we need them to do.
Thank you, and stop posting that shit as if there's some fucking third alternative. Okay, this is what the Russians want you to believe.
Right.
Okay, that's not how our government works.
Oh my
you
God.
got Democrats, you got Republicans.
Yeah.
Don't vote Green. Don't vote Libertarian. I need you to vote fucking Democrat this year.
And don't vote Independent. And I just think it's always like, can we be a little strategic? Right. Let's just fucking stop the bleeding right now.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop the bleeding and then work the next 2 years to really, get these policies together, to really
There was a special election in Ohio a few weeks ago where it was like razor thin. The Republican did beat the Democrat by like less than 1,000 votes. I think so. I haven't heard, like, last I heard it was like it was going to be
Danny Danny something.
But the Republican last I saw was ahead by like less than 1,000 votes.
Yeah, no, they had to like
there was an
recount that
independent
shit.
like Green Party candidate in that race that got like 3,000 votes.
God
Fucking-
damn
what
it.
the fuck?
Why do
Bullshit,
people
man.
still do that bullshit?
I don't know. It's like
I mean, we got
2018.
Trump.
It's 2018.
Or we
people.
got Bush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when are we going to be like, you know what? We're not ready.
You're
for
never
that.
going to get elected, guys.
We're not ready for that Green Party shit.
You're just
We're not ready
wasting a
for
vote
that
right
Green
now.
Party
You're just
vote.
And also, I mean, please look up the Green Party. Like, actually look at what they do and who they're. Just because they call themselves something cool. If I come out tomorrow and I got the fucking peace, love, prosperity, and big dick energy party, I mean, of course everybody wants to get down with my party, but what am I really about, guys? What am I really moving?
Yeah, what's the substance?
Yeah, man. What's
I
the
agree.
policies?
I mean, it's really true because last November or 2 years ago, like, what was that chick's name? Something with a J.
Jill Stein.
Right, but like, what the fuck is that bitch?
Remember all that
Who was
money?
she? Like,
Remember
at
all
the
that
very
money we
beginning?
gave her to do the recount?
But this is what I mean.
I didn't get
if
any money.
she had been, you know what I mean?
Me neither, but
I would just have more respect for the whole thing if it was like she never went away.
Right, but she went away.
yeah, she went back to singing folk songs or whatever the fuck she was doing
She
before.
came in and did all the damage she wanted to do, and then she went away.
Yeah.
like in those
She's
states,
probably paid by the Russians too.
1,000%.
And let me just say this real quick: any campaign to break up California to 2 states or 6 states or whatever that bullshit is.
Oh, fuck that.
The Russians love that stuff.
Yes,
Of course.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Come on
absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Y'all might not
Think
know
about
because
it.
you don't live in Cali, but it's about a 10-hour drive from the top to the
it's
bottom.
a big state.
And you're in 3-4 different worlds. You really are.
Right.
Yeah,
But
that's why
as
it's beautiful.
As a whole, that's why we're the 6th biggest economy in the world.
Yes.
We have concentrations of wealth. We have concentrations of agricultural
Yes.
wealth,
We have like
That's why we can experiment.
industrial.
we
That's
have
why
like 100
ports.
times the amount of people as both of the Dakotas combined, and yet they have 4 senators and we have 2.
That we got to talk about that electoral redistricting. I mean, there's so much. Hold up, we're gonna take a quick. We got to take a quick break.
I can't
right
talk
quick.
no more politics. I'm done.
I know, but we got to take a quick break, and we're gonna come back and talk about some yes, y'all. But I got to refill my drink, so hold on one second.
And Ben's too.
We are back, just like we never left you. No time at all. We traveled through time. All right, that's enough politics, guys, because as we all know.
Not for me, but okay.
Yeah, we could talk politics all night, but as we all know,
I think it pisses God off if you walk by the color purple in a field and don't notice it.
that's right.
Love it.
That's important to
I
know.
have to get one of those things.
We
Man.
gotta. I mean, we always have to have a reading from the book of Seeley, Shug. I'm sorry, the book of Shug. Color Purple is my Bible. You guys should go out and get some religion. All right, so what are we talking about here? What's on everybody's mind? What's your yes, y'all? Because I don't want to.
We're not catching hell yet.
No. We already caught enough hell with Trump. I think I can let you guys go. I don't want to talk about black bodies falling.
No, we've got to talk about at least one.
Well, okay. Gosh.
Can we just get it out of the way?
Let's do it then. Let's do it.
We gotta talk about this bitch in Dallas, the police officer who was getting off I've heard 12-hour shift, I've heard 16-hour shift. This bitch went home, somehow got lost, was on a different floor, put her key into the lock of an apartment that did not belong to her.
Yeah.
It didn't open. The door opened and she shot the person who opened the door without any hesitation, twice in the chest, and he died. Turns out this was not her motherfucking apartment. Right. How do you shoot an intruder when you're the motherfucking intruder? Right. You're a police officer. And if what? Huh? What? Why did you think your key all of a sudden worked? Like, clearly it wasn't. I mean, okay.
So basically, I think what happened was she tried to put the key in, and then the guy who lived there heard that and then opened the door to see what was going on.
He's dead, so we don't know why he opened the door. But if it were me and I heard a key in the lock, I would open the door or tell the kids, open the door, it's daddy. Right? Maybe he thought it was someone he knew having trouble.
Yeah.
Now, I don't understand why she... Like, okay, hear me out.
She's really going to use the
I'm
tired excuse.
But hear me out. Like, if she's going home, wouldn't she know if somebody would be in her apartment or not? Let's say it was an intruder. Why would they fucking unlock the door for you? If somebody had broke in to rob you and they heard you coming home, they're not going to unlock the door for you. Do you expect someone to be there to unlock the door? Were you just going to automatically shoot the person that you thought was there? None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. And what kind, and I say this over and over, every time a story like this or anything close to it comes up, what kind of fucking police training is this? This, every time a police officer shoots someone within seconds, I feel like, well, then I could be a police officer because I would be scared. I wouldn't know what to fucking do. I would shoot first and ask questions later. So what kind of training are they receiving if they are shooting first without asking questions, assessing the situation and the environment? All she has to be like, at the very least, how about who the fuck are you? Yeah. Pull your gun and say, who the fuck are you? And that way, this poor man who was an upstanding citizen has a chance in his own apartment to say, this is my motherfucking apartment, bitch. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. He was a working man, too. He had a job.
So it's really sad. And then they had initially issued an arrest warrant for her. And then the sheriff was like, oh, she feels bad. It was an accident. She's tired. And they dropped the arrest warrant. She's not being held at this current time. And at this point, I haven't heard or read an update of what is happening now. Of course,
she's charged with manslaughter.
Devastated.
She is charged with manslaughter.
But they're not. She's out on bail.
Her name is Amber Geiger. She was 30 years old. She shot Mr. Sorry, what's his name? I'm trying to find it. Mr. Jean.
His name is... I have it here.
After she shot and killed a neighbor in an apartment. She was freed on bail for $300,000.
His name is Botham Shem Jean.
Oh, okay. Mr. Jean. Mr. Jean,
26 years old, a successful businessman. You know, someone was even saying that the neighbor said he had a bright red doormat in front of his door. So many things to indicate, even when you're tired, this ain't my shit.
Yeah,
this ain't my spot.
You know what I found? What I found to be really strange, frankly speaking. You and I have been watching it a little bit. I don't know. You haven't been watching anything else I've mentioned, so you probably have not been watching this as well. But Random Acts of Flyness. In the first episode of it, and it's on HBO, it's great. It's fucking dope. The guy is talking about random 3057 thing that black people shouldn't have to worry about, and he's talking about coming out of a out of a movie theater, accidentally walking to the wrong blue jalopy and getting inside, and then a white woman showing up and him realizing he's inside of her jalopy, and then she calls the police, and it's like, oh my God, the police are going to come and they're going to think I was trying to steal this white woman's car and I'm going to get killed. And when I heard about this story, I literally thought for a minute, like, this is The Onion, right? Like, this is not.
That's also what I was going to say. I have done this. I have a Volkswagen on multiple occasions when I've just been distracted. I have gone all the way up to the car, to the driver's side, and tried to put my key in the car door to unlock
I've done that.
Yeah.
Now, when it didn't unlock, and I pressed my buttons and my fobs and all this stuff,
you step back for a minute.
At some point,
yes,
I said, I looked inside and I said, oh, this ain't my shit. And then I was like, oh my God. Right. The crime is not that she mistakenly went to the wrong door and tried to open it.
Yeah.
The crime is that she shot the motherfucker on sight.
On sight. And it really, you got to really address. Okay, now we're talking about Catching Hell. And because the other incident, it occurs to me, and it really draws the question of like this whole fear thing, this whole Florida stand your ground concept of like, if you are afraid, if you think your life is in danger, then it gives you the right to kill someone else. And it strikes me like this is extremely low threshold for like, police power. That I'm afraid means that now your life.
This is why Kaepernick is kneeling. Like, we need to address it.
It has to
and there needs to be accountability. There needs to be justice.
Exactly. We need to look at it.
She should be arrested. She should be charged.
She should be charged.
Yeah.
Of course.
And even if
it
for some ungodly reason that she gets off, she should not be allowed to continue to become a police officer. Yeah. Bitch, you ain't got the temperament.
You were on.
You don't have the motherfucking temperament.
You don't have what it takes.
You didn't even do it in the line of fire. There is no excuse.
No.
None.
When you guys were on the podcast on All Time Top 10 yesterday, you played the Ballad of Hollis, not the Ballad of Hollis Brown.
The Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll.
Yeah, by Bob Dylan. And like he said in the song, like what Williams and Zinger did in the song when he killed this poor woman who was like a servant. She was a cook or whatever.
Service worker, janitor,
he killed her with a cane because he was like
cane.
Yeah, he was like in a fit of anger. Just he hit her and she died. He says throughout the song, what was it? You who philosophize disgrace and criticize all fears. Take the rag away from your face. Now ain't the time for your tears. And at the end of the song, when the judge, it's a true story, when the judge gave him a 6-month sentence for murder, he says at the end of the song, now is the time for your tears. And so when the reason why Kaepernick and all that stuff is happening is because in the end, these people aren't held accountable for what they do.
It's not just Kaepernick. This is Black Lives Matter. This is
that's where all of it comes from. Is that these things happen, but then these people aren't held accountable.
Exactly. I mean, we got the bitch. Former Officer Betty Shelby is now doing talks and workshops
on how to deal with if that situation ever happens.
If you
making money off
if you fucking shoot a nigger mistakenly, this is what you do to somehow still make money. That's the fucking shit that really just
now is the time for your tears. Bury the rag deep in your face. Now is the time for
it's like this girl crying and feel bad. What about his mother? What about his family?
Right.
How is the story still about her? How is the story still about this chick? I mean, we can't get started on
we can't. Since you brought up Catching Hell, since we're not y'alling right now and we are instead Catching Hell, we have got to bring up this other story that Sister Star brought to our attention the other day. This woman was getting harassed by a white man in the parking lot.
A pregnant black woman.
Again, over parking spaces, apparently. I'm like, this is so strange with this parking lot obsession. And in any case, another man, a black man in this case, stepped to the white dude and defended her, and in the process of which, I'm going to show you. I'll just let you see, and you can see for yourself. Hold on.
She's 15, dummy. What? Oh. Get out of my face. Get out of my face.
this girl big and pregnant. He's talking about, or what? I would have decked his ass.
Did I threaten you? I did not threaten you. I said you were a dummy and she's a 15-year-old driver and get out of my face. Get out of my face.
Walking up on this lady like that. Is she walking up on you?
Exactly.
You need to back the fuck up. You heard what the fuck I said?
Cover your children's ears.
You should not be playing our podcast in front of children.
If you haven't learned that in 102 episodes, yeah.
You was a motherfucking man. Now what you gonna do?
I love this guy. I'm in love with
I haven't
him.
seen this.
Go the fuck on. Put that gun away. Fuck you. Put that gun away, man. Go ahead.
The black man is now drawing a gun for our podcast
It is
listeners.
hanging down by his side.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not pointing it
He's
at
not
the
pointing
white
it.
man
It is
at all.
pointing at the ground.
Why doesn't this guy just leave?
It is unclear at this point what is compelling this
I don't
white
even
man.
understand what's the problem to
Dude,
begin
you
with.
and your bubble butt and your baggy shorts.
Yes, all he is missing is a
Your
fanny
fucking
pack.
golf shirt.
He's
Get the
only
fuck-
missing a fanny pack.
Just leave.
Everybody. I don't care who you call the cops.
Call the cops.
Yes,
I'm going to record all of it because I'm here for it
that's
today.
right. You're a pregnant woman. You got our all in our face. We got this lady filming.
Yeah, you're on film, dude.
Got a gun, ma'am.
This
I've been
gentleman
recording
also
every
has
second,
a
sir, since you got out
wonderful
the car.
wide-brimmed hat on. He looks
I love this guy. I wish I knew his name.
he looks like he could be a black street superhero.
Clearly
Called like
he
Uncle
is.
Man, like Uncle Man or something. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
You were about to hit a pregnant woman. I have it here on camera.
Don't film, boy. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
This guy's awesome, by the way.
You got to see. You
The guy
guys, you
with the
got to
hat
look
is
this guy up.
killing it.
the black guy defending her honor
Yes, I
and
love
telling
this
this
guy.
dude, to,
I just can't believe he's
I will
still
break
standing
your
there.
mother-
Yeah, I don't
Fucking
understand. Hold
face.
on, it's coming though.
wait for it.
It's coming.
Put your hands up.
Put your hands on me, he's saying.
Yeah, he knows the law.
You jumped on a pregnant woman. A gun at somebody is legal.
He didn't point it at
He
you.
didn't point it, gun at. He ain't pointed.
He's a lying motherfucker. I got it on film. Go ahead.
What did you think was going to happen?
He punched him, y'all. He punched him
So
first.
the white man punched the black dude. It was a very weak,
It was very
soft
weak.
punch.
It was a very-
and then he got cold clocked in the face.
It was an incel
And he
punch.
still won't leave.
It was an incel punch.
And now he want to cry. He literally want to cry.
He still
Yes.
won't leave.
I wrote a check that his ass could not cash.
I can't believe this
I
is
think
still.
that's the end of that.
Oh my god!
So,
What a fucking loser!
what
man.
a fucking loser. It is that I just can't imagine being that invested in anything in life. I mean, like, first of all, as soon as a person pull a gun on me, conversation over.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Conversation
I'm like, I don't even
ended.
know the bitch. Like, I'm sorry. I don't even remember what this is about.
I'm like,
know.
I forgot my medication this morning. I am going through all kinds
Like,
of emotions.
seriously. And this is the thing I think that's coming to the surface, has been at the surface, whether it's that bitch Permit Patty in Oakland trying to regulate people having a
Permit Patty,
barbecue,
yeah.
Right.
or another bitch like, oh, you selling waters. It's something. It is, this white man could not comprehend that this adult black man could respond to him
Right.
Yes.
with as much authority as he felt he had entitled himself with
Yep.
to confront this black woman for whatever
Yes.
reason, which is why he really thought in a moment where he could hit this dude, I don't care how weak it was, and somehow there would be no
Weak ass
consequence.
belly punch at that.
And there
Yeah.
would be no consequence. This
Yes.
motherfucker has a gun.
Yeah. Hold on.
Why would you?
Yeah.
would
Can
be
we?
willing
Can
to
we?
put
No,
hands on
let's
him?
contrast the behavior of this. As far as I know, civilian man walking around in his wide brim uncle hat with a Hawaiian shirt on, or what, not even a Hawaiian shirt, whatever, looking casual as fuck, wearing some dad jeans. The restraint that he exhibited
Oh, yeah.
versus a police officer
Right.
who is afraid.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This man has been punched. He is already the white man hit him already, knowing he had a gun.
And the white man instigated the confrontation with a pregnant woman to begin with. So, I mean, I think this is just the perfect example of kind of like what has come to the surface all across America is that the entitlement and privilege that white men, and Ben, I want you to speak to this because I don't understand.
Can we get into that?
I don't understand.
Absolutely. It's a perfect segue.
It just seems like a prime example of unconsciously this belief that you are at the top and that no one can look you in the eye. The status and the privilege and the entitlement that God has endowed with you. This is that manifest destiny. The second I learned about that shit in college, I was like, well, that's some crazy shit, because by that standard, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
As long as God told you to.
Whatever the fuck you want. And we are finally, 2018, it has been the example, I think, getting to the peak of when we were like, no, anyone hiding behind that white privilege, that is not real. And we are going to show you. We are going to tell you.
That's right, Ben. Account for yourself, man. Explain yourself, goddammit.
I really don't understand.
I'm glad that because of modern technology, i.e. camera phones, we are able to pull the curtain back and see just how fucked up some of this shit is, and it's probably been going on since time began. We just see it more now. We talked a lot on the on All-Time Top 10, which everyone should listen to.
Yes, next week.
It's a good episode,
it's going to be out next Monday. 17th.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
17th.
We talked a bit about white privilege, and I'm Jewish.
Yes,
and
you are.
This is a conversation that we got into and we had to stop because we were like getting too far into it. We had 20 songs to play, 21 songs to play.
Right, yeah, we had just started.
Yeah, and so
it was getting hella political.
I talked about how funny it was to me that a couple years ago somebody asked David Duke if Jewish people are white. And not only did he say no, but he was livid. He's like, "Fuck no, Jewish people are not white. Fuck you!" Like he like his head almost exploded. And I'm not saying he's wrong because technically,
no, I think that's fascinating. I think that's a fascinating position. I've always I'm on record on this podcast as saying I have a great deal of admiration for Jewish people, that they're a template for minorities in this country on how to
Happy
succeed.
57-79.
Yes, happy 57-79, guys. And thank you for demonstrating that
really
even when you are always outgunned and always outnumbered, you can still maneuver and finesse on these motherfuckers
for almost 6,000 years.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, one thing that I have learned just by being an outsider is like, y'all motherfuckers stick together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I get it. Through history and various circumstances, it has brought people together. And I also see through history and various circumstances, the history of African descended people has torn us apart.
Yes, yeah.
I see so clearly how we are never able to truly coalesce and say, okay, no matter where you are from, we are all the same.
Yeah.
But I just think, again, we have to start to I'm hoping just like continue to have these conversations. Sure. Like this man, from what I understand, this man in the hat, he don't know the woman. That's not his woman.
Not at all.
That's why I say
that's
he's
not
awesome
his pregnant woman.
Doing that.
Yes.
He just said this pregnant woman, who is by all accounts physically vulnerable, is being attacked by this stranger on some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to step in as someone who can protect her. And again, what is it? How do we continue to dismantle whatever the fuck was going on in this motherfucker's head that made him continue?
Well,
and at
privilege.
no point
I was going to ask you, what is your experience of white privilege? I mean, because you can present as a white dude, but you are Jewish, so like if you told the wrong white dude that's exactly, it could be bad.
Oh yeah, well that's exactly why David Duke was so mad, because in his mind, Jewish people are not white, but they get white privilege in this country because they're sneaky like that.
That's why they didn't like OJ.
That's why you can't trust them, because they're integrated with the white community and they're
that's why they didn't like Obama either, because he was half white. They was like, oh motherfucker, you sliding through.
Yeah, you trying to pass. I like that.
That's why he was so pissed. It's true that we do benefit from white privilege in this country for the most part. I mean, it's just true.
Yeah.
So he's not wrong about that. The fact that he was angry about that really just shows what his mentality is all about.
That's incredible.
But In my community, where I came from, Northeast Wisconsin, go Packers.
Northeast
Wisconsin. We were a very small percentage of the population. In my high school class, I was one of 350 people. There were 2 Jewish kids.
Wow.
Out of
nowadays
and there was one black person.
Wow.
One.
Nowadays,
you said there's more Jewish people than black people?
In my class, yes.
Oh, my God.
But now, so like when you were in school, did you get the Jewish holidays off? Holy days?
They were allowed us to, yeah. We were
right, but everybody didn't get.
But not everyone got
close the school.
They said you could stay home if you liked to.
Here in LA, they closed the school.
Right,
Yeah.
my son is at a school. We have a very robust Jewish community, and we have tomorrow off. Mm-hmm. We also have Yom Kippur off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and we have all the Jewish holy days off. And I just think fair is fair. We get all the Christian holidays.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's a very big, from what I understand, cultural and religious, ceremony. Like, let people have their time. Why are we making it hard for people to just celebrate with their family and celebrate their identities? And it should not just be extended to Jewish people. We should get off some Muslim holidays. I mean, maybe I'm going way out here, but
no, not really.
Right? I mean,
so how do you stand on Zionism? What's going on with that?
God.
Oh, no. I am not a Zionist.
Where's the sound bite for that? I don't even know what it is. But
hold on. I might have some.
No, thank you. I guess,
I cannot believe that there is not a Palestinian independent state at this point. What's the point?
It's money. It's a money thing. It is. It's all down. It all comes back to money.
Like they're still building settlements in the West Bank, and even though it's clear that territory doesn't necessarily belong to them. And it's just that whole thing, the whole Israel thing. By the way, I saw that Roseanne said that when the Connors...
That bitch was white! I thought the bitch was white!
Oh my God, Ben, I didn't know you could do that voice.
That was good. That was really good.
I did it off. Thank you. I did it off mic. She said that when the Connors airs, that they're redoing Roseanne without her, which is
she's dead.
She dies or something, I think.
Oh, is that right? Is that right?
The witch is dead. Yep.
I thought the bitch was white. Anyway, she said she's going to move to Israel.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Bye.
She'll probably get a television show over there. I mean, it'll be great.
I don't think so. I think she's an asshole.
Is she toasted? She toasted.
I think she's too much of a she's too much of an asshole.
Well,
people don't want to deal with her.
The thing about Zionism to me, which I don't really have a position on, to be honest with you, because I'm not Palestinian, and I don't take positions on things that
two-state solution.
Yeah, really I don't know all the. I don't know all the nuances, so I can't really take a position or whatever. But what I do think, what I do see overall, the problems I have is like, whenever a state becomes about blood and land, right, as opposed to ideals, like with the passing of John McCain, that
was great. What he said.
So amazing what he said about that. I think that's incredibly important because America was founded as an idea. The nation is an idea, and like that's one of the things about Israel. Yeah. For so long that it was a nation that was united by an idea, right. And it's almost like the minute it becomes concretized and it becomes about securing a position in terms of borders and land and economic sort of resources, whatever, that's exactly when all of the bullshit comes into it, and it isn't anymore about this spiritual thing that we all kind of think about when we think about Israel, when we think about the Jewish people or whatever. It's like we always associate this spirituality. I mean, if you're a good person. If you're a bad person, you think other things. you think other things.
Who decides who's a good person, who's a bad person? Tucker Carlson has some great views on things. He's a good person.
That's right.
Not really.
Punch a Nazi, guys. It's not complicated. So yeah,
I'm not really practicing. But you know, it's my heritage.
It's your heritage, right? But
I hate that word heritage. But yeah, because it reminds me of like the monuments in the South. And all
I feel like I do think of the Heritage Foundation.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. When I hear heritage, yeah.
All right, fair enough. See how the conservatives have stolen everything from us.
They ruined that word.
They've stolen everything from us.
Yeah.
If I want to have some pride in those that came before me, I think of the word ancestry or ancestors. Although that's been completely commodified.
Yeah, pick your commodified term of choice at this point. Basically. Because they're selling 23andMe or AfricanAncestry.com, whatever you want. we don't have to get too deep into Zionism or whatever, but I just want to bring that up. I just want to bring that up in terms of that corollary, because what I see is that in America in particular, with the Make America Great thing, it really is about trying to convert the idea of America into something equally prosaic and banal is like the idea of the Russian Federation, because like the whole Putin's whole gripe with the world is that I used to have a fucking USSR, you know, we used to be huge, and now I got an economy that's like the size of Greece. You know what I mean?
It's pretty amazing that a country that big
collapsed
has fallen so far.
Yeah,
but still has a shit ton of nukes. So yay.
Shit ton of nukes and oil. So I mean, they got like a couple of things. They got a couple of things going for them, and it makes sense why they're trying to convince everyone that the world should see things in their philosophical, you know, sort of paradigm or whatever. But America is not a nation of borders. It's not a nation of blood and land.
It's ideals.
It's a fucking idea.
Yeah,
man. And we got to get to Mars, man.
Yeah, I feel like with John McCain passing, that's the end of an era.
Definitely.
Yes. It's really is. He's definitely like the last Republican that you can even have a modicum of respect for. And Lindsey Graham, look at that guy.
Oh my God.
Back and forth. Donald Trump is a kook. He's unstable. He says that when he's running for president.
Right.
Now he's like, people say Donald Trump is crazy. That's ridiculous. You know.
Yes.
What the fuck happened to that guy?
What happened to any of these guys? Ted Cruz or Rubio or any of these motherfuckers?
Yeah. Well, Lindsey Graham to me is like he was John McCain's buddy. They were tight. And if I was John McCain before I died, I would have said, "Dude, what's fucking wrong with you?"
right.
Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and people like Rand Paul talking about, you know, like we should be best friends with Russia. He's even deeper with Russia than Trump is.
1,000%.
I don't know where
1,000%.
What they got on that guy. But.
Well, that's our weakness in our system. Is the weakness is the money. We are all greedy and corrupt, and nobody even sees $100 bills, and yet 90% of the American money out there is in $100 bill notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how fucked up the system is. 90% of the American wealth is out there circulating in other people's hands in the form of currency that most of us will never ever see.
Yes.
All right. So that's. Do we need any more Catching Hell, honey, or can we?
God, no.
Okay. Thank goodness.
No more Zionism either.
Yeah,
no more of that.
Yeah.
So first of all, and yes, y'all, Obama's back.
Yes.
Yeah,
guys. Just in time.
I don't know if you guys noticed. I think maybe in sort of response to the fact that we lost to John McCain, and
just in time, because like I said, end of an era.
Yeah,
and he's now more than ever. We need Obama.
1,000. So he's going out there and campaigning for Democratic candidates. He gave a big speech where it was the most direct sort of repudiation of Trump's presidency.
Not mincing words.
Not mincing words at all. Just speaking directly to camera. And I'm glad to have him back. I felt like now I'm finally ready to pay attention to him again, because the whole 2 years that he's been sort of living his best life and on vacation and jet skiing and shit, I'm like, I don't want to see that Obama. That's his business.
He wants to,
right?
And he's earned it.
He's earned that. Enjoy yourself, live your best life, make your millions. But this Obama that's coming back now, this fiery, invigorated, still vital, influential Obama, I'm like, yes, okay, this is the guy that I'm ready to accept as sort of a leader in the Democratic Party, and we need him.
We absolutely need him.
Yeah. So
yeah.
What else?
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Obama.
For all the way until November 6th. I hope he's out there every day.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also in yes, y'all news is India has struck down a law banning gay sex.
Yep.
This is huge.
Wow.
Yes, that's right. It is. The ban against gay sex was actually a holdover from colonial law, because strangely enough, Europeans and British people in particular were really against buggery. They really was against booty sex. That was just a big thing that they exported all over the world, and now you have violence and campaigns against homosexuals in places like Africa, where you had British colonial rule, but India has finally shaken off the shackles of
it's about time.
Of heteronormative love. And now they're ready to have great gay sex. So that's great.
What's the Alan Turing movie? You know, the code, cracking the code of the Nazis.
Oh, I forget.
What's it called?
I know what you're talking about. Alan Turing.
basically the guy invented invented the computer.
Codebreaker. No.
Okay. It's something with an I.
Yeah.
Alan Turing movie. Just type that.
The Imitation Game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My friend Graham actually wrote that. He won an Oscar for it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. A friend of mine, like an old poker buddy of mine.
I'm sorry, you dropped something there. It's
cool.
a name. Hold on, there you go. There you go.
But that story is so fucking tragic because this guy invented the computer.
Yeah.
And saved us in World War II. His invention cracked the Nazi code to whatever. Right. But it just so happens that he's gay.
Right.
And in 1940s England, that is a crime. And And so once they found out, this is after the war, after he fucking saved us, he got arrested for that same stuff. And he was given the choice between jail time and like chemical castration.
Castration.
Oh my God!
And he ended up killing himself.
Yeah, I mean that's not much of a choice.
Those aren't good options.
It's not much of a choice.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah.
Speaking of name dropping,
that's that old law. So fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit, y'all.
Speaking of name dropping, one of the parents at our son's school is one of the screenwriters on Crazy Rich Asians.
That's kind of cool.
I was like, okay, man.
Is it Asian person?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
It's
That's
Asian
good.
woman.
That is good. That is good.
There's a name down there.
Yeah, I had to. I'm just so excited for her. I was like, do that shit.
That's dope. I also like the fact that they're not sending them to a private school. They're still kind of humble, sending them to like a,
we might as well be private.
Yeah, I guess.
You got Rosh Hashanah off.
The charter school thing is a whole that's a whole separate episode. True. But I was very excited for her. I love that movie. Yeah. My mom loved it. Representation matters. That's and dope. Henry Golding is bae. So
that's dope. Yeah. The National Black Police Association says that police backlash to the Kaepernick campaign perpetuates the narrative that police are racist. So I want to give it up to the National Black Police Association.
Yeah, and water's wet.
Yeah, right.
But at least a police organization, a black one.
But they're black,
albeit. But
they represent police.
Yeah, and it's not like black. It's not like the only police. All the police brutalities, white people don't have.
No, it's not all white people.
Do not have a monopoly.
Oh, yeah. Something happened.
I just lost my headphones there.
Everybody's out.
What just happened?
I got you.
Everybody's out.
I got you. I got you.
It's just you and me?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay, the thing came out. If you guys haven't heard it yet, a song we played, it's actually coming out tomorrow, the new episode of All Time Top 10. Top 10 songs for Donald Trump, Volume 3. We're getting all throughout September, we're getting political.
Yes.
Songs for Donald Trump, we're doing songs about liars, con artists, megalomaniacs, racists, all this stuff. One of my guests for that episode, he played a new song from Body Count.
Oh, Ice-T.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you heard it? It's called No Lives Matter.
Oh. Leave it to him to escalate it very quickly.
You gotta hear this song.
I would definitely check that out.
I love how he switched it up, his like rapping career. He's been on like one of the longest running episodic.
What is he on?
I went to his house one time in a crazy LA story. Went to his house one evening. I know, but it was just
why not?
Hey, I don't know. When you're a young woman in LA, you collect a variety of crazy stories.
Yeah, it's hard to live. It's like, if you live in LA, you are even if you're a bum, you're going to run into, you know what I'm saying? You're going to run into.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You work on, you and your wife work in television.
We're both in SAG-AFTRA. We're extras.
Yes. A very noble profession.
It is.
It is a noble profession in LA. I mean, you can't have a movie without them.
Hey, I was on set on Friday from 8:30 a.m. till 12:30 a.m.
Jesus, Christy. That's why I couldn't make it. I don't have the patience.
Yeah. It was brutal.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Breathing in fake smoke all day long. Yeah.
You might have seen some of his fine work on it. Weren't you on Walking Dead? Did you just smoke it?
No, I was on Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, okay.
Parks and Rec, but pretty much every show you can think of. Also, my wife and I, we have to get into this for a second. My wife and I were both semi-regulars on Insecure.
Yeah.
Oh yes, we do need to talk about how dope.
I'm always looking.
You were staffers at We Got Y'all.
We were looking. We were totally.
Didn't I not just say that last week? I'm like, I'm surprised. We don't see them more. in the offices of We Got Y'all.
Yeah. I was looking for you in some sex scenes because I mean he has an amazing body, that you guys really should see.
Whoa!
And exploit.
You don't see me like this new
there.
season. You don't see me very much. Just like one thing where I come walking across in the background in the office.
In one of the episodes that already aired.
But in season 2, you see me here and there. I'm one of the people like in the conference room.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. I know we saw Shannon last season.
Shannon almost had a line in last year's season. Yeah.
Got a freeze frame on some of these things.
I think I totally see her having a line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's funny. It's funny to me too because part of the premise of We Got Y'all in the fictional premise is that it's this show for urban youth, but everyone that works there except Issa is white.
Right, which is why I'm more surprised that they don't feature more of the white people that work there.
Right.
That part of me, because I was a fan since it was Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, I'm just glad that Sujata Day is like still featured and has lines, because when she was just the best friend Cece, like I just loved her character.
Right.
Is she Molly?
No, she's God, what's her name? She works at We Got Y'all.
Shoot.
But I can't think of her name on the show now, and it's
she's the one that Issa goes on all those assignments with.
Is it the main white girl?
Or is it the boss?
No, neither one. Okay, now I'm going to look.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So, we're caught up, by the way, with the newest season. We haven't seen tonight's episode.
Yeah, I'm not rushing us, but it's almost midnight. And
I'm going to stay up late because the Deuce is back.
Oh wow, we're gonna be late. I'm gonna be tired of work tomorrow because I gotta get my HBO Sunday.
I can't stay up late. I have so much shit to do tomorrow.
I gotta say, I love season 3 so far. I love that.
Good.
It's getting more arty. It's getting more interesting cinematically.
Yeah. Are we talking about Insecure?
Yeah.
Totally. I think I like this episode a lot.
Sarah.
I mean, this season.
Sarah is her name.
Oh.
At We Got Y'all.
I think that's the one that Shannon was standing in for.
Her.
Oh goodness.
I think so.
All right, guys. Speaking of which,
anywho,
I got one more, and if you guys got anything else, you can add it on, and let's wrap this up. I want to give a special shout out to Jeffrey Owens.
Yes. And Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's.
If you guys have not listened to any podcast or the news or any media, or you just crawled out of the bunker, Jeffrey Owens used to play
Elvin.
Yeah. On the Cosby Show. He rapes, but he saves, he is not one of the. I know.
We're not doing drugs over here. Yeah,
I promise you guys.
I had to promise you guys.
Sniff. Oh my goodness.
He played Elvin, Sandra's fiance, love interest, and then turned husband.
Yes, he was a doctor on the show as well. Everyone was a doctor or a lawyer on the show.
I always liked Elvin.
I liked Elvin. He was dope. He's also been in a shitload of other shows. It's not like he stopped acting after the Cosby Show, but
very talented guy.
Very talented. He taught. In other words, he was very active in his career, and he was making and doing his thing. But he had a type of job that a lot of people have these days in the gig economy. He's a freelancer. He didn't have any permanent work. Didn't have a lot of benefits. There's not a lot of safety net in Hollywood.
It's tough.
So in order to, put things together and make things work, he had a gig at Trader Joe's.
Which is a great company to work with.
Which is a great company to work with if you're going to
want to work there.
Look, you should be so lucky. That's the upper echelon of working poor, okay? I'm
just working for Costco. That's up there. We're working for Costco.
We're a block and a half from the Silver Lake Trader Joe's, which is actually where that police standoff was. We could hear it, by the way. It was fucked up. But I applied for a job there. I want to work there.
They got great benefits. From what I hear, they got great benefits. They got time off. I mean, that's a real job. As long as you got time off and benefits.
I've been told they have the Cadillac of health insurance.
I believe that. I believe that.
So some bitch went in and took a photo of him in his uniform.
Yes.
And was like, "What? Why is Elvin working at Trader Joe's? I'm just surprised because he was on a TV show and
some
this and
backhanded
that."
shaming.
And basically sold the story and the images to Fox News, and who totally shamed him.
Right. Mm-hmm. Look at him.
First of all, I mean, before we even get into it, that's absurd. This show was on decades ago. He is not on a current show.
Yes.
Secondly, we know that by all accounts, we have taken Bill Cosby down.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They're not going to be showing syndication anymore.
That shit has been pulled from syndication.
Yeah.
Why do you think this guy has money?
Yeah.
The show came on 30 years ago, and syndicated episodes have been pulled. Why do you assume that he's richer, knowing you have not seen him in any other role since he played Alvin?
Also, how can you sell someone else's likeness? I mean, I know this is the world we live in, and
they took his picture without his consent.
Well, that's a whole nother
and you're
thing.
gonna profit off of humiliating.
So thankfully,
or trying to humiliate.
Most people have come to his defense and
1000%.
said clearly what is happening. The way that the entertainment and acting industry is going right now, people are not making the money they used to make right now.
Of course.
And almost every actor, what is it, like maybe like 5% of SAG-AFTRA actors solely do that for a living and are quote-unquote known celebrities.
I'd be surprised if the number was that high.
Yeah, most people in the union, professional working actors, are not really known or not household names.
That's right.
And I would say at least 50% of them have another source of income.
It's the same in music. It's the same in music. It's the same in almost any art. Almost every type of artist is doing this shit 9 times out of 10 for the love.
Yeah.
For love, for passion, because they want to be participating in it. So, a lot of people came out
to his defense.
Terry
saying
Crews.
This is not bullshit. Pamela Adlon.
Yep.
And
he's fielding
Patricia Heaton
offers.
Well, he took an offer now. He took the offer with Tyler Perry. 13 episomes on who knows what show.
Great.
Who cares?
Right. It doesn't even matter.
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter. He's working. And
I mean, it's not like the motherfucker wasn't talented. He's like classically trained and shit.
Sure.
Went to Yale.
I read that.
I really love that the backlash went back on her, and now she's all embarrassed. Like, bitch, no, you weren't.
No, you're not.
You're mad.
You just caught.
You didn't catch the temperature of pop culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that when he had to leave Trader Joe's, because when all the stuff blew up, before he was getting all the offers, he realized he had to leave because he'd be a spectacle there.
What? Yes.
Yeah.
So he had to lose income because this woman.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was a dick, he could sue. Not even if he was a dick. If he was just, if she had something to take, I guess he could sue.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to now.
No, he doesn't have to.
Because
and Nicki Minaj gave the motherfucker $25,000.
What?
Is that right?
Yeah, but that's confusing to me because
What?
Why not invest that in there's so many actor conservatory organizations.
Nicki's so thirsty.
That help. She really is.
She's
and we got to talk about that, Nicki and Cardi. But there are so many organizations that help to support actors who are not making enough to make a living or have struggling with housing. Put that $25,000 towards an organization that is really helping lots of people who are not already about to get money. Like before even Tyler Perry put the offer out, just the fact that it became a viral story and was on mainstream media, that means he don't need any help from you.
Yeah.
She's trying to stay relevant, which is kind of sad to me. But hey, at the same time, I'm not mad. Hey, if somebody offered me $25,000 just because, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you just giving it to me. I mean, look, we got to get our Patreon on anyways. We need to get that donation happening immediately, actually, in this motherfucker.
Thinking about that for my show.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us how that works.
I don't know.
I know how it works. We just got to start his account. I donate to him. So.
Can we switch to Nicki Minaj and pop?
Yeah, let's talk about, let's black out a little bit.
Let's pull it out. Okay, so when I was perusing the internet, I saw a post from my fave, Cardi B, saying that Nicki Minaj was somehow talking shit about the baby culture.
Yes.
The new baby that Cardi had. I couldn't really find documentation of what she said. And it's kind of like with the old dude rolling up on a pregnant woman. It's pretty off limits.
Yeah,
leave the fucking baby out. I mean, come on,
Stop being awful, people.
The baby's 2 months, clearly has no agency really.
Right.
So why would you even mention her?
Go after a baby.
Why would you mention her? Talk about Cardi as a mother, fine.
Yeah.
But why would you actually mention the baby? Okay, so to me, Cardi has a legit gripe.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but and they had beef prior to this, 2 New York rapstresses.
Yeah, and there's a lot
boroughs,
and there's a lot to say.
Queens, Jamaica, Queens, Bronx. Okay, I don't know.
And a lot can be said about that too in terms of historically pitting female rappers against each other, or, for that matter, by extension, female entertainers against each other.
I thought that initially, a year ago, whatever beef was basically just publicity, and it worked for both of them. And I think that was the impression I also got from Cardi, just that, no, everything's cool, we worked it out, and it's just good publicity for everybody. But now that somehow the baby's name was involved,
everybody got a trigger.
Then Cardi was like, fuck that. Fast forward to New York Fashion Week. I wasn't there. I wish I was. But they passed each other in one of these great halls. And Cardi, as she has been known to do, threw a shoe. Cardi B is in the red dress here. Yeah. We can't even see Nicki Minaj because she is hiding behind a wall of security guards. Security has got her protected. But Cardi, as if you've ever watched a reunion of Lovin' whatever she was on,
Lovin' Hip Hop,
she has been known to throw a shoe at some bitch saying some shit she doesn't like. And sure enough, she did it here again. And then I guess because security was doing their job in their kerfuffle, Cardi B suffered a bruise, and she had a bump. She was seen leaving with a large swelling.
She had a knot. She had a knot over her eye. She definitely got a knot on her eye. It's so
dramatic.
It's so strange.
What's going on?
It's so strange. Nicki Minaj is a 35-year-old woman.
She's not that old.
34, 35, yeah.
And Cardi's like what,
20 something. Is a baby by comparison. It
doesn't make sense for Nicki to be involved in this in any way.
It's incredible right now that Nicki Minaj is acting so thirsty,
we know who Cardi is.
Yeah.
Every fucking song is about her ratchet, outrageous behavior. So I feel like Nicki knew by saying whatever she said in the tweet or on her Queen radio show, she was baiting the pit bull or whatever the saying is. You know what I mean? She knew Cardi was going to respond, and it's no surprise that it would be in this fashion.
Absolutely. 1000%.
It's just crazy. I don't know.
So that wasn't a yes, y'all, but it definitely bears some note.
We're all talking about it.
We're kind of all over the place.
I know you're talking about it at home.
It's a typical episode of Work with Kids is what we're getting at. Well, let's move back to yes, y'all, 1 second. Terrence Nance, who is my new favorite weirdo, he has a show called Random Acts of Flyness on HBO, and he has
he also directed a film called An Oversimplification of Her Beauty. I believe that was in 2012 or 2013.
Yes.
Another weird, quirky film that mashed up narrative with other non-linear stories.
Yes, he's like kind of like it's like Michael Gondry is the white Terrence Nance. You know what I mean? I
think it's Michelle.
Exactly. Michelle. Exactly.
Gondry.
That's what I said.
It's Mueller.
Michelle. Mueller.
It's pronounced Kaepernick.
Well, anyways, what he did, he's doing a new multimedia project that skewers white savior tropes.
Oh my god!
I think I
haven't seen this. This looks
holy
great.
shit! What else is on this? So here we have a scene from To Kill a Mockingbird with Gregory Peck and shit. I don't even know the name of the black actor. That's how white savior that movie is.
And playing behind each one of them is this lovely ditty.
I'm obsessed now. Wow. Hashtag white people won't save you. Oh shit, that was Cool Runnings, which I just showed to my half Jamaican children. What else they got? What's that one?
I wouldn't know. I'm not white. Just ask David Duke.
So you guys can see this.
Is that
I think this is Dance with the Wolves, right?
Now you're playing a whole bunch
Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves.
So it just goes on and on like
what
that.
was the samurai one with Tom Cruise?
The Last Samurai.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So anyways, I thought that was just lovely, and you guys should check out, look up Google Terrence Nance and just dig into anything that he's associated with. It's amazing.
Damn, there's so many of those.
So much good stuff.
It's crazy that those movies keep getting made.
Still.
Can I just go back to Insecure? That's why I'm really loving this episode, because they're not kind of shying away from really addressing maybe what we've kind of been noticing, like something's up with We Got Y'all. And I love the episode, spoiler alert, where Issa takes initiative when she's calling some of the schools to kind of renew the contract for the organization to come back and offer.
I saw her. When she made those calls, I saw her do that probably like 30 times.
30?
Yeah, well, because they have different
angles and everything.
Yeah.
But it was great because she starts to call some of the schools that are crossed off, which in theory means don't call them. And she's like, why did you decide to not continue with us? And some of them were like, y'all logo is racist.
Y'all know your logo racist.
This was a huge white hand lifting up these little black children. Yes, so the organization leader, Joanna, who's white, is like, no, it's not racist because it's my hand. And she was so earnest. You don't understand. It's my hand. So that means it's okay.
When I first got on that set and I was stationed near her office, you look in and it's nothing but like African artifacts and posters and like all this like beautiful African colored stuff.
Yes.
And she walks in, she's got like not a muumuu, but she's wearing this like
a robe, flowing
African outfits and stuff. And she means well.
The show is
she's got a
very
good heart.
decisive. That's in that way, and I love that.
The white version of he speaks so well, like for black people, is he means so well. she means so well.
I love it. I think it's great that the show is really not shying away from it this time.
Yes.
And the same thing with Frida. Yeah. And also
Frida, that's what I was thinking of.
Frida's also basically starting to really become more woke, quote unquote, as she sees what's happening on site, or because her and Issa have become friends, seeing the struggles that Issa's having because of what's going on. I think it's a nice storyline to pursue.
It is. It's amazing. And you know what, guys? That's the show. I'm calling it. It's an hour and 50 minutes of Woke with Kids.
Hour 50
minutes.
God dang.
What do you think we've been doing?
Where'd the time go?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What?
That's we've been averaging $120 the last couple episodes. So this is just a super
I don't even think we even went off on
special
anything.
edition.
This is what happens when we skip a week. I'm sorry, y'all.
Sure.
I apologize.
This is what happens. And when we have someone to talk to.
I don't listen to shit this long.
Yeah. But this, you know what?
Maybe break it up into two.
No. They're going to enjoy it because they're sitting at their office job.
If you do break it up in two, you can line it up with the all-time top 10.
None of it won't be contemporary. That's not how our show works. Our shit is not evergreen.
Sorry.
Yeah, you will hear this tomorrow on Monday, your time, and then Ben's podcast will be out
next Monday, September 17th. All-time top 10. Don't forget it. Seriously, it's a great episode.
It is.
I'm very happy. I think it was the first one that I really legit took quite a bit of time to compile my list.
I was worried that you guys were going to collaborate, but you had your own separate
totally
lists.
separate, yeah.
And to put you on blast, but I was like, Nyaze, have you compiled your list?
No, I did mine like.
And he was like,
an hour before you got there.
What is it? What's the thing? And I had to look it up, but then I'm so glad I did because I really wanted to find the songs that I wanted, and I wanted him to find the songs.
Yeah, but I wasn't worried because I've been preparing for that episode my whole life.
You guys both came with great picks. In fact, between the two of you, you stole my top 3.
Oh,
That's true. I like starting off with like Strange Fruit.
Undeniable ones.
Strange Fruit. Strange Fruit was my number 7, guys. Just in case you're curious, it was not my number 1.
They each had 7 picks, and Strange Fruit was Nyaze's number 7.
That's where we started. Tell them one more time where they can find you, Ben.
Sure.
All the places.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All-time top 10. Find us at all those places. alltimetop10.podomatic.com is the website. Of course, it's on iTunes and all the other places.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do your Googles, guys. It's easy. All-time top 10 with Ben. It's awesome. Well, not...
if you like music and you're a disciple of Casey Kasem like I am, if you like countdowns, different topic every week, different guests every week.
That's right.
This month we're coming hard with we did top 10 songs, top 10 feminist anthems, volume 2 with our friend Summer Blake.
Is that the one that's still out right now?
Yep.
I have to listen.
Some Lilith Fair.
Songs about Donald Trump. Yeah, I mean, but we get into some really fun stuff too, like real
some Annie DeFranco,
lighthearted stuff. Sure,
gotta have.
I'm saying.
Come on now.
I'm just making sure that we covered all the bases.
I remember you had a similar one a few months back, and I like chimed in on Facebook.
We get people involved on Facebook and Twitter. We give them shout outs when with their picks match up with ours, and
it's fantastic.
It's good.
Tune in, you'll enjoy it.
It's awesome.
You know
that episode in particular.
Yes. And you guys know where to find us. You're listening to us. What the fuck are you talking about? You do what you did last week again, and then we will be there. Okay.
Thank you for your patience. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say thanks so much for having me, you guys.
Thank you for making the trip out here 2 nights in a row, because we would not have done that.
No, that's out of the question.
I don't like doing them remotely. You got to have the personal thing.
I'm so happy you're here, and I'm really glad that you agreed to be a guest on our show. I liked having your perspective.
Well, if you have people saying, have him back, then I will come back.
Yes.
Yeah,
we'll have you even if they don't, though. I don't really care about my.
So what else? We're you can find us again on all the interwebs. We are on Facebook at Woke with Kids. We post a lot there, so join the conversation. We're also on Twitter.
Yep.
Again, at Woke with Kids. Same on Instagram.
That's right.
We're about to do some shout-outs.
Yeah, we got some shout-outs on SoundCloud. 2 Awkward Millennials for reposting us. Al Diddy, of course.
Hey, babe.
Of course. 2 Squares Podcast. Logical Nonsense Podcast.
I like them.
Yeah,
and so many creative names for these shows.
Seriously.
Oh my god, it's like the new band name. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
the new band
podcast?
names. Oh yeah, for sure. And then also
Just Say Words Podcast.
Just Say Words
Appreciate
Podcast.
Y'all.
Yeah, and so now I'm just checking to see if there's anybody on the iTunes side of the force.
What's that with Kim Kardashian?
Oh god, you don't want to know. We don't want to know. You don't really know.
She try. I feel like she tries so hard to stay relevant. Oh my god, we didn't talk about Mac Miller, y'all.
Talk about that while
I mean, what the fuck is there to say? He died.
Yeah, he did. Ariana Grande
possibly.
Old.
See, that's stop right there.
Okay,
Stop
I'm
right
stopping.
there.
I'm stopped
because it was pointed out that when Demi Lovato overdosed, we gave her male drug dealer a fucking interview. And basically talks about how she's a grown woman. Yes. She knew what she was doing.
Right.
But when Mac Miller overdoses, all of a sudden it's Ariana Grande's fault because she broke up with him months earlier.
Oh Jesus! I don't mean it was her fault.
But the fact that her name comes up right away.
It's in the same sentence. Well, she's famous,
but it's like what? So Demi Lovato wasn't dating nobody.
Right.
She didn't fuck up nobody's life because she's a drug addict and she deals with addiction. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out. And, she still got, I mean, the way the post I read, my heart went out to her because, less than a week earlier, she got fucking sexually assaulted on live TV at a goddamn funeral.
Yes, she did.
By an older priest, pastor.
That was fucked
This
up.
man was clearly grabbing her breast, and she had that look that every woman gets when it's like, oh my God, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah,
but I don't want to cause a scene. Okay,
Aretha Franklin's funeral,
and then a few months prior to that, with the bombing, the terrorist attack. I'm just saying the bitch been through a lot. So let's not tie her up with Mac Miller being a grown adult and making poor decisions. I'm just saying.
Say that.
I'm just saying that she's dating Pete Davidson now, and she used to date Mac Miller. And the only reason I knew Mac Miller as an entity in the universe is because he dated Ariana Grande. That's all I'm saying.
He did have a song called Donald Trump, which we talked about how rich he was.
I mean, it's all. I mean, any of these overdoses are
but then
very
he came
sad.
out and said like fuck Trump after the election.
He grew.
I mean, what was crazy is that I had day before, I got in my email and the email from Vulture that was like, oh, Mac Miller, da-da-da-da-da, but it's complicated. So basically read this 10-page article that we wrote about him, this feature. And I saved it because I was like, okay, interesting.
Yeah. I want to say No Tears Left to Cry by Ariana Grande. That song is great.
Before we get too carried away, we actually have a huge event, a new comment on iTunes.
A comment? Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Where's your sound button? There's gotta be.
Oh yeah, it's true. Hold on, there's gotta be something.
Something.
Which one is it?
All color purple or dragon.
No, they're mostly color purple because that's the good stuff.
I think it pisses God off if you walk by the color purple.
We gotta get some new ones. I'm gonna find some.
Don't notice it.
I get a new one every week, but I missed it this week. I add one, so just send them to me. And in fact, you guys in the podcast, if there's a soundbite you guys want me to use, send me an email to wokewithkids@gmail.com, and I will find it and I will use it in the show and I will shout you out. And I appreciate you. Also, send us an email in general if you want to ask us some questions or to talk about stuff. Or hold us accountable. That's what we used to say. I still stand by that. But now we want to celebrate. Another 5-star review on iTunes. Thank you. Keep them coming, guys. Thank you. This comes from Sleepy 1982. I'm assuming 1982 is a reference to your birth date. That means that you're a relatively grown person, and I appreciate that. I said, heard the hosts first on the Black Guy Who Tips, and they don't disappoint. This show is my weekly news download of what's going on this garbage fire of a nation with a black perspective fist emoji. Love the show and the cameos by the baby. Raise my baby fever. Yeah.
Oh my god!
You know what, guys? You guys just made this shit. You just guaranteed another year of Woke with Kids. Okay, like literally, that's the only.
I started to think y'all just weren't.
I thought you didn't give a
paying attention. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't have time for this.
I thought you didn't give a fuck.
I've been doing mine for 6 years, and I barely ever get any YouTube comments.
It's tough. It is
iTunes.
No,
comments.
it's tough.
And I'm leaving you a comment because just the premise of your podcast is up here.
334 episodes.
I love music.
I've got about 8 comments on iTunes.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
It is hard, dude.
I don't push it though.
No, I push it, and they still don't.
You post each week. You share the link on Twitter every week.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my one to like.
Okay.
Well, anyways, thank you so much, Sleepy 1982.
Thank you.
Keep them coming, guys. This is the fuel that keeps us going. That you care.
Keep the babies interrupting.
That's right. You know what? We're gonna keep the babies, y'all. We're gonna keep the babies. We're about to get rid of them. We're gonna fire them. We're gonna fire them.
Yeah, you just saved those kids
from the show, but we're gonna keep them. Okay.
Seriously, we're about to leave them on the corner.
They're old enough. I think they can fend for themselves.
You can drop them off at a fire station.
That's true. That's legal now. No questions asked.
No questions.
That's right. Okay, guys.
Come with a backpack.
It is super late.
Snacks,
it is super late on a Sunday.
Homework.
There's no school tomorrow, but I have got to go to work because I am not Jewish like my friend. So I have to show up tomorrow.
He may have to work too. That's
true too. But I'm gonna let you know, there's nobody in my office Jewish that's going to be there. That's a fact.
I just want to say for the record that the big dinner was tonight, though. Am I wrong?
Well,
I knew
the big dinner happens at Yom Kippur, really, but
right,
the break the fast and all that.
Oh,
so
by the way, my dad fasts every year, and when you fast, it's for 24 hours, and there's no water either.
That's hardcore.
Yeah,
that's like Ramadan in a day.
24 hours, no food, no water.
I don't know how you do it no water. I don't know how you do it no water.
That's the Day of Atonement.
Oh, right. That's
I can't imagine. It's the water that gets you the quickest on the fast. I can't even imagine going a whole day without water. I can't. I literally can't imagine.
He does it every year. He's crazy.
I can't even. Oh, my God.
But break the fast is like the big celebration at the end of that.
Right. Okay.
All right. That's enough, guys. Shut up. All right. This already over 2 hours. This has been fantastic. Thank you, Ben.
Y'all cut us off. Thank you so much, Ben.
So awesome. Yes.
Thank you,
myself. Thank you, Mel. Yes. All right, until next time, guys. Stay woke.
Peace.